What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Busy Fan. We've got some NBA playoff action for you. Let's get into it. All right, so over this weekend, there was a ton of NBA stuff. Obviously, we had games every day going on. We will take a quick look back at Friday and Saturday. As you see here, the Clippers beat the Mavericks. The Celtics pulled one off on the Nets, which that's a big deal. The Nets looked basically unstoppable before this game. The Hawks beat the Knicks. So that was Friday's action. We'll move to Saturday. Saturday, the Jazz beat the Grizzlies. The 76ers beat the Wizards to go up 3-0 on that one. The Trailblazers beat the Nuggets on Saturday. And the Bucks eliminated the Heat. So the Heat are done. Bucks move on to the next round. Okay, now we'll get into a little more detail about these games on Sunday and Monday. So the Clippers beat the Mavericks 106-81 in this game. The Clippers looked like they couldn't handle the Mavericks, and now what is that? Ties up the series 2-2, I believe. So the Clippers are looking better. Honestly, this is a defensive number right here. 106 is not much in today's NBA, but holding the Mavericks to 81 is obviously a very big deal. The Nets, again, in this game, the Nets looked like they were struggling again. It was a close game through the first quarter. The second quarter, the Nets started to pull away a little bit and then ended up winning by a large margin, holding that through the second half of the game. The Suns beat the Lakers on Sunday to tie up that series 2-2, but this one just got more interesting because in this game, Chris Paul looked better. He's been out with that shoulder contusion. He came back. He was looking better. He's making his shots. He didn't look as hesitant with taking shots. He got more minutes. And then in this game, Anthony Davis went down with a hurt groin. We don't know how serious it is, but we do know that he's out in this next game. So that'll be huge. Tied 2-2. They need everything they've got. The Suns look like they've been a good match for the Lakers, or a good match against the Lakers in this series, even with Anthony Davis. So without him, is definitely a concern for a Lakers fan. I don't know. If Chris Paul is healthy and can go back to his normal self, I think it'll be tough for the Lakers to pull this one out without Anthony Davis. They're saying that they don't think it's too serious with Anthony Davis and that hopefully he'll be back soon, but he won't be back for this next game here. So definitely a concern for the Lakers there. And the Hawks beat the Knicks 113-96. Trae Young still playing that villain role in these playoffs, trying to knock off the Knicks, who it seems like a lot of the NBA is rooting for. Then yesterday we had the Jazz Grizzlies. The Jazz beat the Grizzlies 120-113. This one was really close throughout the whole game. And then I guess the best way to describe this, because I watched this whole thing, it looked like the Grizzlies worked super, super hard for every basket. It was Trae Young doing crazy things and making awesome shots and all this stuff. And it always seemed like the Grizzlies were working like super hard and had to work hard for their buckets. And then the Jazz would come down and hit a three or something. Like it seemed like grind on the Grizzlies side. And then the Jazz would just come down and not that they weren't working hard, but the shots that they're able to make by passing it into Rudy or driving in and kicking out, it just seemed like the Jazz's shots were simpler and easier, where the Grizzlies had to work super hard for all of their buckets. But they did, and they made it a super close game because of all of that like hard work and grind that they were putting on. But now the Jazz are up 3-1 in this series. And then the Wizards pulled one off on the 76ers. So the 76ers were up 3-0. This was the elimination game. Joel Embiid did get hurt. They don't think it's too serious, but he left the game, which is probably why they lost this one. But it didn't look like it's too serious. It looks like he'll be back. But the interesting thing in the storyline here is right here. Ben Simmons, he went 5 for 11 from the free throw line in this game. So that was about 45% in that game. He was 0 for 9 in the series from the free throw line before that. So now he's shooting 25% from the free throw line. People are started to talk about, hack a Simmons. They used to do hack a Shaq, just getting him to the free throw line a bunch. He shoots for his career, he's like 60% from the free throw line. So not terrible. It probably wouldn't be a good idea to do hack a Simmons thing if he can get up to that 60% mark. But free throw shooting is definitely a mental game, and if this is in his head and he's not able to make free throws, it may be a good idea going forward. But after the game, reporters were asking Doc, like, do you have to sit him because of this? And Doc was like, no, you're ridiculous. Like, he's Ben Simmons. He may not be like a shooter, but he can do a lot of things for us. So that'll be interesting going forward. It's not going to affect them in this series. Like, they'll still beat the Wizards. I don't think the Wizards are coming back from 3-0. But going forward, other teams are obviously seeing this. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So that's your news. That's what's going on in the NBA playoffs right now, which is what everybody really cares about. Today we have the Celtics and Nets. The Nets are up 3-1 in this one. The Trailblazers and Nuggets, which is a 2-2 series. This one's been interesting because I felt like without Jokic, the Trailblazers would have this one. I feel like they're more skilled without Jokic on the not Jokic, without Murray on the floor. Jokic is still out there, but Jokic has been carrying everything. He's been playing out of his mind, and they're tied 2-2 right now. This one has also been interesting because I feel like most of the time one team dominates most of the game, and the series is tied 2-2. But it's never like a 1-point win or anything like that. One team just seems to dominate from start to end, basically. And then we have the Lakers Suns tonight, which, again, like I said, Anthony Davis is out. Will be really interesting to see how the Lakers play without him, if they can steal one without him, and then hopefully get him back in the next game or a game soon, if they're still playing. So that's what's going on. That's what we see. That's what's happening in your NBA playoff world. Thanks for following, and thanks for being a busy fan.